What's going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Back with another preview. This time we're going to be previewing the Carabao Cup game, first round for us anyway, in the Carabao Cup. And it's our title to defend. Manchester United, yes, we're at home versus Crystal Palace. And it's a big game for us. And the reason I think that is because, like I already said, it's our title to defend. This is the one cup we won last season. And we obviously got to the final of the FA Cup and we got deep into the Europa League. But this is our trophy. And people will say it's just the Carabao Cup. It's a Mickey Mouse trophy. It's not very good. It's not a big trophy. But to be honest, if we win it again, finish top four, win another trophy, nobody's complaining, And it's a trophy at the end of the day. So the title charge, the cup defense, title defense begins now. All these managers that come from other leagues call the cups titles, right? Not just the Premier League. So it's our cup to defend, and on that note, looking at last season and how Ten Hag treated this cup, he really put a lot of stock into it. He didn't, rotate much. He didn't rest many players. He played a strong team pretty much every game, as much as possible anyway. I think in the first round when we first got in, I say first round, the first round that we were in the Carabao Cup last season, I think Dubravka played a game. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he played a game. So, he did rotate in that sense. But mainly, and across the cups, Ten Hag did not rotate much. And that is what I expect him to continue to do today, to be honest. Though tomorrow, we're playing on, Tuesday. Yes, tomorrow's Tuesday. And we're playing tomorrow, and we should be beating Crystal Palace, regardless of whether he rotates or not. But I don't think he will do much rotation. However, I do think because of the injuries we've got, he might be forced to do a bit more rotating than he would like to do. Obviously, we've got players coming back. You saw at the end of the Burnley game, you saw people like Varane coming off the bench. I think Mount apparently is close to coming back as well. Obviously, the big one really is that AMRABAT is in the team. He came on against Burnley, but he came on as a left back. Hopefully this time we'll be in the middle of the park. And it'd be good to see, especially if Mount is available as well. It'd be good to see both of them, how they kind of operate, how they cooperate together. But largely, I do think it's going to be a very interesting team because will he really just play the main guys, the Rashfords, the Brunos, maybe even Højlund? I don't think we can. I don't think we can afford to do that. Maguire apparently is back as well. And to be honest, I would put him straight in because let's consider this right now, yeah. This is the Carabao Cup, and like I already said, a lot of people don't rate this as highly. There are priorities in the season, and the main priority for us is obviously the league in terms of league position. Yeah, there is no title charge. We're not gonna win the league this season, but we want to make top four. Want to be competitive in the league. So and we are getting a lot of injuries. A lot of things are not going our way. Ten Hag said it himself. So for him, he's going to have to think, okay, can I afford to get any more injuries in the Carabao Cup, which should be a lower level in terms of the four competitions that we're in, a lower level competition. Champions League, we should be trying to get out of that group. Obviously, we lost to Bayern in the first game, but we should be trying to get out of the group anyway and getting as deep into that as possible, into that competition. Obviously, the league, FA Cup. I prefer to win the FA Cup over the Carabao Cup, obviously. So, anyway, let's just see what Ten Hag's going to do with this. My predicted 11 is, I don't actually think... Well, I don't necessarily think that my predicted 11 is going to be what he does, but what I would like to see him do, rather, maybe this is not predicted and this is just more United 11. I'd like to see him try out for this game because, once again, yes, I think we need to go for this as a win, but I believe these players should be able to get the win. I don't know what that's based on, especially because the season hasn't started off the way we wanted, and sometimes we do overrate some of these players, but I think we should have enough to beat Crystal Palace with the players that I'm going to predict or put down on my starting 11, and they look like this. And I'll try and explain each one a bit more than usual because we've got Crystal Palace twice this week, so I don't want to give too much talking about Crystal Palace in one video when I'm going to talk about them again probably on Thursday this week because we've got another game against them on Saturday. But anyway, in goal, I say we rest Onana, and once again I'm looking back to last season. He rested De Gea once, I think, in that Carabao Cup game. Maybe once or twice, because I think Heaton played as well last season. I reckon we rest on Onana, and I think we play BAYINDIR. the new goalkeeper we got, and we're gonna need either Heaton or Bayindir to cover Onana if Onana goes to the African Cup of Nations in January anyway. So it's good for them to get some game time. If we get through these Carabao Cup games, then this can be one of the competitions. So Bayindir could take Carabao Cup. That could be his competition. The further we get, the more game time he gets. By the time we get to January, he's got a bit more experience under his belt, a bit more games under his belt, and hopefully he can take on the mantle of Onana in those few games when he's gone, or Heaton. Now Heaton just come back from injury. He probably is third choice, but so I'm going for Bayindir. Let's see what the kid's got, right? I don't know if he's any good, to be honest. Then the back line is where we've probably got lots of issues. We don't have any fullbacks other than Dalot and Reguilon. Obviously, Lindelof can play at right back, and then you can maybe put Dalot left back. But I think, once again, because of the fact that Ten Hag doesn't really rotate much anyway, I think he'll probably play Dalot right back. Then he'll have Lindelof and Maguire in at centre-back pairing and Reguilon. Now, that could be completely wrong. And actually, to be honest, I think what I'd like him to do is just play these guys. Because ultimately, if we lose this game, we lose this game. Carabao Cup is done. We focus on other 3 competitions. I don't want to lose this game, and I don't want us to throw the Carabao Cup. But these guys, once again, should be good enough to beat Crystal Palace, as they're, Maguire and Lindelof are Premier League players. Lindelof has been good anyway. So it's Maguire that everybody's going to have a question mark over, right? Question mark also over Reguilon because he came off injured at the end of the Burnley game. Ten Hag said that was just illness. So hopefully he should be fine for that. But the scary thing really is if we lose either Reguilon or Dalot, we actually have no fullbacks at that point, because then you're looking at maybe putting AMRABAT left back again. Dalot obviously can play left back, like I said, and Lindelof can play right back. But then, Varane's then coming in and Martinez is injured. So we're really in the bare bones in this back line. So I see, this is tricky really. I don't really know what he's probably going to do, but I'd like it to be like this. If it's not this, then I say put Varane in there, get rid of Maguire, because nobody really wants Maguire to play. Let Lindelof play left, right back. Wait, let me think this through. Oh yeah, okay. So if I want to rest Reguilon, so he'll probably have to play Maguire anyway. Let Dalot play left back, Lindelof play right back, and then you got Maguire and Varane as the centre backs. That's probably what we're gonna have to do if we want to rest one of our fullbacks. Then you're going into midfield, and I think this would be very nice to see. This is once again what I'd like to see, just because we haven't seen these guys in action really yet properly. AMRABAT obviously straight in for his full Old Trafford debut. He only came on as a sub against Burnley, and it was away, of course. So it'd be nice to see him get his full Old Trafford debut with Mount by his side, or Eriksen, whichever configuration you want to do. But basically, the 3 midfielders for me would be Eriksen, AMRABAT, and Mount. Rest Bruno, please. To be honest, right now, I'll say it right now, Bruno's going to play. Okay, we all know Bruno's probably going to play. And I'll be very surprised if he doesn't play. But I'd like him not to. Just rest him. Put him on the bench. If we need him, bring him on. But he can't play 50 games, 60 games this season. Rest him a little bit. And he doesn't need that kind of momentum at the moment, because he's in decent form. Got a goal last game. Beautiful goal. And then front line is, for me, Pellistri getting back in the team after his Bayern stint. Didn't get really much of a look in against Burnley, but bringing him back into the team, there's no reason why not, right? He's a good player. Like I said, you got Eriksen or Mount as number 10, but whichever way they wanna do it. Garnacho, bring him back in from the start, because we need to see this kid's development. He needs to develop to be a player that can give us something from the beginning of a game. So it'd be nice to see him get a start. And then, of course, I say play Martial up front, start him, give Højlund the rest. Once again, these guys can be on the bench. You can have a Rashford on the bench, a Martial on the bench, Højlund on the bench, Bruno on the bench. That's a strong-looking bench now, So it'd be nice to be able to give those guys a rest. Now, Rashford is a bit of a question mark, because, cool, I want Garnacho to start because I want him to develop. I want him to show that he can, be dangerous from the start of games. But at the same time, you think Rashford hasn't really kicked off this season properly yet. Obviously, he's got the assist for Højlund in one of the games against Bayern. But I'd like to see him get into a bit of form. So it might be, you start Rashford and say, you know what, go and get a goal and then come off. And, hopefully that'll give you a bit of confidence. But to be honest, rest him. He can play against Crystal Palace on Saturday again anyway. So that would be my starting 11. And speaking of Crystal Palace, they themselves are quite inconsistent. They're only 1 point behind us in the league. They're, you know, I think 8th or 7th. And they've lost 2, lost 1 2, lost 2, drawn 2. So, and literally it's been win, loss, draw, win, draw, loss, or something like that. Win, draw, loss. Actually, it's win, loss, draw, because they drew their last game 0-0 versus Fulham on Saturday. So, you know, another inconsistent team. I was going to say they're very inconsistent, but really, if they're only 1 point behind us, they're pretty much exactly the same as us. They've only scored, I think, 1 goal less than us as well. So, we're not much different to them at this stage in the season. But really and truly, we are the better team. You know, we shouldn't be worried too much about Crystal Palace, especially because we are back home. We are at home. Obviously, with that Old Trafford unbeaten streak has finished now after we got beaten by Brighton in the last Premier League game, but in the last Premier League game at home. But we should be beating Crystal Palace. You know, Elise is injured for them. He's still out. Eze is obviously looking good for them. I think he's their captain now, actually. So, you know, he's a good player. They've got some good players across the pitch, but we should be beating them. So that's my predicted 11. That's my views on Crystal Palace, and we'll probably talk about them again, looking at this game for the preview for the next game we're facing them again and how they played in this game. They might, who knows, they might even just rest a few of their players and just kind of say, you know what, we don't really need to worry about the Carabao Cup. But, you know, on the flip side of that, I don't see them getting relegated this season or worrying about relegation because there's so many other teams that are going to be worse than them this season. Maybe Roy is like, you know what, let's try and win a trophy for this team. And actually, this is technically growing up, this is my local team because, you know, I lived not far from Crystal Palace. When I was growing up. So, yeah. Anyway, my predicted score. Now, I actually got this spot on for the Burnley game. I said 1-0, and I thought that was a pessimistic score. Especially because when we looked at the amount of goals that Burnley had been conceding, I think I said they conceded 11 goals in 3 games. You thought, okay, maybe we'll be able to get a bit more goals, but, you know, United have been struggling so far this season. So I say, again, let's see if I can get it right again on the money. I say we can beat Crystal Palace 2-0. We're at home, you know, a nice, easy 2-0 win. Another clean sheet for our team. Obviously, if Onana's in goal anyway, that'd be nice. But I hope it will be one of the other keepers. Hopefully, BAYINDIR get his debut. AMRABAT full debut at home. You know, it'd be nice. It would just be a nice day out for the fans. So please, let's get this win. Let's move on in the Carabao Cup and maybe win it again and defend our trophy. Back-to-back Carabao Cup wins. Why not? Let me know what you think in the comments. You know, are we going to beat Crystal Palace? What kind of team do you want Ten Hag to start? Is he going to do his usual and not rotate much? And who is going to lead the line, really? You know, is it going to be Martial? Get a couple goals for him. Let me know what you think. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel as always, and see you on the next one when we review the game. And like I announced in the last video, I'm going to be trying to do the post-match reviews for the late game. So like this one which is on Tuesday at 8 o'clock tomorrow, as a live. So, you know, so if you want to jump on, you know, in the chat, you know, get your comments in. We'll try and do that tomorrow. Yeah. See you on the next one.